Hey folks, there's 6 inches of snow up in the mountains of Vermont, and in just a couple days it's going to be 2020, a brand new decade. So this video is going to be a look back through some of my favorite and more significant finds from 2019. This year specifically, more than any before, I included more of my research, stories, and sometimes folklore about these places that I explored. And if that's something you enjoyed, you can look forward to more of that in 2020 in bigger and better ways. I have some exciting things planned. So thanks, as always, for watching, and if you stick around to the end of this video, as usual, there'll be a short montage of bloopers and outtakes from this year. Wintertime in Vermont is when I do the bulk of my research into these places I explore. In February of 2019, I came across a map from the late 1800s that listed the location of a home that was said to be owned by a jeweler, or a seller of fancy goods. Although there was several inches of snow on the ground, this property would become unavailable to me come spring, so I had to take this opportunity to trudge through the snow and see what I could find from the frozen ground.
So I just found something. It's on a chain, a little brass chain. I have no idea what it is. Is it like a clip for a pocket watch or some spectacles? Oh, my hands are freezing. I just found something. I don't know what it is. I think that this is a pendant. It still swivels, right? I bet that there was maybe a piece of glass, like a painted glass or something. I almost never find jewelry at sites of this age. Never anything like this, and never two things like this at the same site.
It wasn't for another 2 months that I was able to access some of these sites that I've researched all winter. The first that I chose was a home situated a little too closely to one of these mountain streams. According to the landowner, sometime in the late 1800s, there was a storm, the water came up, and unfortunately took the home with it. The things that I found that day were attached to a very sad story and made them all the more interesting.
Look at that. Absolutely unbelievable. 1845. The grandfather of the land is going to really enjoy seeing that. Whew. All right.
There's no shortage of stone walls and fences in the mountains of Vermont. However, the next place I chose to explore had more than I had ever seen in one place. According to my research, this place was used to train and breed horses. Along with several old coins found that day, the most exciting find was a stone wax seal depicting one of the Marley horses, a 1740s French sculpture which may have been used to seal their business letters 150 years ago. As spring arrived in the mountains of Vermont, the snow started melting from the higher elevations, gaining me access to some of these older, untouched colonial homes that I find so interesting. Among the several fascinating iron artifacts I discovered one afternoon in early May, I also found my first Spanish silver coin of the year, as well as a beautiful silver cufflink, which is important to note for when I return to this site later in the year. While doing research in a local history book, I came across a reference to a now abandoned road being used to move troops during the Revolutionary War. This road, to my surprise, passes through a piece of property that I've metal detected in the past and have an ongoing permission for. I decided to spend a day searching along the sides of the road, and what I found that day may be one of the most significant things I've ever discovered.
Look at that. USA! You've got to be kidding me. This is a Continental Army button from the American Revolutionary War.
The mountains of Vermont are scarred by crisscrossing abandoned roads, some used for logging as recently as last year, and some used by horse-drawn stagecoaches over 300 years ago. One place I had the opportunity to search this year was the ruins of a stagecoach stop, a place for travelers to spend the night and buy provisions. I knew a lot of money would have changed hands here, but I was not expecting this.
You see that? When I first took it out, I saw that star, a Nova Constellatio, which is the first coin minted under the authority of the US. You know, just to be holding a coin from 1780s is incredible.
In July, I received an email from a viewer who told me a story. Almost 40 years ago, they had given permission to a group of people, not unlike myself, to metal detect their land. Several military artifacts were found, but what they were and when they were from had been forgotten. My mission was to find anything military to try to solve the mystery, which I was able to do. But that day, I also came across some unnerving locals.
Coyote.
As the summer pressed on, I decided to make a return trip to where I had found my first silver Spanish coin of the year and found, unbelievably, the match to the silver cufflink set.
Alright, well, I absolutely don't believe this. Check that out. It's the other cufflink. Look, and it still has the little connector piece. Incredible. I never would have imagined we'd find the other piece to this. Absolutely incredible.
In October, Eddie and I went on an adventure like one we'd never been on before. A 2-day metal detecting event with over 1,000 participants on 1,000 acres of historic land. While we didn't really find any incredible treasure, we did make many incredible friends, and is certainly something we're going to look forward to doing more of in the future. Last year, in 2018, I found what I thought was my largest silver coin to date.
I really don't want to scratch it. Oh my god, look at that thing.
A massive Spanish 8 real, which, to my surprise, was a non-silver counterfeit. In September of this year, I found my second non-silver counterfeit dollar coin, this time American. This $17.99 drape bust dollar, had it been real, would have been a very valuable coin. This one, as a counterfeit, has a different kind of value through its history and the story it can tell of its creator and how it found its way into the mountains of Vermont. Throughout the year, I explored dozens of forgotten places with fascinating histories and treasures. Far too many to show in this short wrap-up video. I urge you to go back and watch the ones that may interest you, as the things that I found in the earth tell a story of the people who lived there and early America as a whole. I look forward to sharing more adventures with you in 2020, and now the 2019 bloopers and outtakes.
And roll speed, sound, and action.
I always start every video by going, alright.
Take one.
And we don't know exactly. Let me do this again.
Cut. Bigfoot.
So that's why we're here on a day like today.
If you find this video, he's killed me.
The wind's blowing again. Oh, man. Good lord.
If we get quiet.
Quiet on set. There's an
Quiet,
airplane.
So we just found some ice skates, and Brad is trying them on.
A broken ankle.
That's about it for me.
Honolulu, Hawaii.
That cannot go on film.
Alright, let's go. We got a good start to the blooper reel. We've been walking so long. Do I have dirt on my face? Yes. I always ask Eddie if I have dirt on my face, and he'll never tell me, just on his own volition. Did I get it? Most of it, yeah. Alright, well, tomorrow...
First day of spring tomorrow.
Tomorrow is the first... Come on, woolly bear, my friend. Woolly around. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. The find of the day is not something we found in the ground, but it's... Yeah, huh? Friendship. Friendship. Snowmobiles prohibited in cemetery.
Guess that's a problem.
To get... Oh no, your water bottle! Shall I see what it is together? 1982. Well, that sucks. Oh, our oil's on fire!
That's beautiful.
Thank you. Let me sing your tune. Alright folks, we are back up in the mountains of Vermont again today. Bug.
It's all about that B-roll, know what I'm saying? Walking, and a stick just right up my nose.
You said it hit your brain?
I think it hit my brain. It got so deep it was like a neural shock. Woo!
On a piece of property that is said... Got him.
Gag reel.
Yeah, I am out of water. That's embarrassing.
There is a light that shines in the darkness.